he would call himself like Michelle, but he was like a dude and like whatever. And
His name was, he called himself Michelle.
he would like touch people like on the third eye or something like that, and then he would make them have a full out psychedelic experience, just like full out psychedelic experience.
Welcome to the Better Man Podcast with Ivan and Sumed.
Welcome back to the Better Man Podcast
with Ivan and Sumed.
Namaste. What's happening, guys? We have a very special guest with us today. Opvious, the spiritual rapper, the viral sensation. He's over here today speaking with us. How you doing, brother?
Doing great. Doing awesome.
Awesome, man. You said you're working on a new song?
Yeah, man. Working on a new song right now.
Sweet.
Yo, Opvious.
Yo.
For the people who don't know you, what's your highlight reel? So that they know you, you know, they got your ups, they got your downs, they got like a movie in like a minute, you know, like for them to get to know you, who you are, so they could grow interest in you.
Okay, yeah. Used to be, started making music, started making metal a long time ago during my very depressed years. And then I had a great spiritual awakening. During my spiritual awakening, I started making music again, started making hip hop this time. And then just became just very in tune with spirituality and started spreading my word, spreading any wisdom that I can, my perspective and knowledge. So yeah.
So what do you think is since you said something and it caused some curiosity in my mind.
Okay.
You went from one genre to the next, right?
Yeah.
Because you felt perhaps you could express yourself more differently. You can create something different with this. What would you say are the differences or the creations or the thinking of the different kinds of genres in music in terms of consciousness?
Consciousness. Well, I started out making metal music. So when I was making music, I was not in like a higher vibrational mind state. So the music was like me kind of like trying to express feelings of like maybe like hurt and like, you know, depression, like going through because I was going through that. So that's like kind of the songs I was going through. And I feel like metal has a lot of like darker topics. And so but there's a difference. I don't know, because like, you know, the guitar, you know, kind of just sounds kind of like the metal guitar sounds kind of like darker, but with hip hop, I mean, it's similar. It can be that way, but I feel like there's so much like versatility that you can bring into hip hop. So like I started, you know, making more like higher vibrational music and a more uplifting vibe. So it was completely different. You know what I mean? Came from a different mindset.
Yeah.
Music creation.
Yeah, even in the genre name hip hop, it sounds like something more upbeat, whereas metal sounds like very like, I don't know, like cold tones, you know what I mean? When I think of metal, I think of like the image of metal, you know?
Yeah.
Industrial. Like
Industrial.
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
Oh, did you ever mention your highlight reel? You never did so, right?
Me?
I think Obvious just said that, you know, he was going through like a spiritual awakening through his music. But tell us a little bit about like what got you started in terms of like your backstory, your journey, like what made you want to, you know, record music and like a bit of your past.
Yeah. So in the past, so when my little brother asked me today, like, what did you want to do when you were a kid? Like, what job, profession did you want to do? And I told him like, number one, it was like, I just want to be a rock star. Like, I just want to be like a metal rock star, playing my guitar and singing. And then after that, it kind of changed to like skateboarding. I wanted to be a professional skateboarder because I've been skating for almost all my life. And it was that. And then I wanted to be like professional soccer player because like I went to like high school soccer and then club soccer. So like I didn't want to skateboard because I know it could hurt me because I was always falling, injuring myself constantly. So I've always wanted to do something extremely like big for myself, always had like high ambitions. And so yeah,
Yeah, you can feel that. You can hear that.
Yeah, so I picked up, I didn't even know like this was gonna be something, honestly. I just found there's this app you can like put out your lyrics into through this app, and like I was just having fun with it. And there's some other app you can like kind of like sing into your phone, and like it would be like over a beat or something like that. I can't remember exactly, but I was just having fun with that. And then I just started making music, downloaded like the demo version of FL Studio, and wanted to start creating my own vibes, because there's so much music out there. And like my biggest inspiration was Kid Cudi. So like he like definitely Kid Cudi and Childish Gambino and Kanye are some of the biggest influences I had when I was starting out. And they like kind of like showed me like that I can make music, because it doesn't have to be like like super like gangster and stuff like that. So that opened the door for me. I kept doing it, and I'm just kind of fell in love with the whole process of it. And then like the more I did it, I was like, I want to do this. Like I want to do this, like, and just be a very inspirational rapper, putting out uplifting messages. So that's how I got into this whole thing. And the spiritual awakening is when I started like using these apps for the hip hop. That's like something that kind of happened at the same time, like the spiritual awakening, and helped drive me and my vision, so that I knew like this is like the kind of messages that I want to put out, spiritual messages. So yeah.
What was your transition like from non-spiritual awakening through the awakening, and then after the awakening, like, because the spiritual awakening is like actually like 3 parts, you know what I mean?
Yeah, true. So I've had like hints of like spirituality through my earlier years, but then like I just I just got the spiritual awakening was like extremely exciting for me, like extremely exciting, because like I started learning about all these topics with like the law of attraction, like astral projection, like lucid dreaming. And like the more I like learned about these kind of topics, it started like opening my mind so much, and it would get me so deep and so excited that I'm like, this is like, I'm going to get more and more into this. So I'm going to start meditating an hour every single day. I'm going to meditate for 2 hours every single day until, like I get an astral projection, and like, until I get more of these enlightened like states. And, yeah, so it was there was meditations obviously where it wasn't the easiest, and there was it was kind of like a little more bumpy, but like, because I meditated so often, it wasn't like extremely bumpy of a transition. And it was just more of an exciting transition, because synchronicities start happening, and it's just like the momentum started
seeing numbers and shit. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then like for a while it kind of like, so it was like going up, and then it kind of like just like leveled out. It kind of like leveled out for a little bit, because I was like going into college, and just I don't know, just like I'm not really sure exactly why, but like I kind of just like my interest, not the interest, but like excitement.
What does your intuition tell you about it? What does your intuition tell you about why it took the dip?
Why it took the dip? I guess. Let me see. That's an interesting question. I guess there's just like a lot.
Just whatever that comes to your mind. Just whatever comes to your mind. Your intuition's whispering it. Let it whisper into your mind.
So I was really like hype into the music, and like still spreading the spiritual messages, absolutely. But I was in college, I was a full-time student, and I was working 2 other jobs. So it was like a lot going on at the same time. And it was just like, I didn't have enough time for the meditation. So I wasn't thinking as much about like the super exciting things like, astral projection. Because like astral projection, when you're starting out, can be really difficult to get. And it like took me a while. It took me a good bit to get it. So it kind of off, because I knew the amount of investment that I would have to make into my spiritual journey it's just a lot of time, and I had to get the good grades, I had to be doing good at my job. But then like recently, like it's been like spiking like crazy again. Actually it was because of coronavirus. Actually, it's funny how that happens, because there's more time to myself, more time. I got laid off from my full-time job as well. So got a lot more time to myself, to my music, and figuring out my spirituality. And then just learning more. I got more time to like research more, and researching more got me way more hype and excited. And now I'm like at my peak, like literally, like, you know what I mean? Like, but it's still going up and up. But like, I'm just, you know, right now, maximum, like so excited about this right now, you know, the whole spiritual awakening and like synchronicities happening more than ever. I'm literally about to order myself a diary so I can like start journaling more of these.
Get like a quantum journal or something, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
Why do you think you've excelled in times when others have not? What do you think has made that difference?
That's a good question. One of the things I think is just like I have like journals on journals of like my work and my to-do lists, and like I have books of like all my work, and like looking back at it, because I'm always like once in a while like look back at it, and it help kickstart me, it help remind me like, you know, I'm doing a lot, like I've actually came like a long way, I've actually had like a good amount of success, like, and so that was one thing. No,
like reminders.
Yeah, reminders, exactly. Because you always have reminders for yourself, I feel like, for the stuff that you've accomplished, and appreciate the work that you've already done. And I feel like appreciating like that kind of stuff for myself is something that helped to keep me going, basically.
Yeah, reminders are huge for like if you're ever stepping into like imposter syndrome, or you're like, oh man, I feel like, you know, I'm not really on the right path or whatever. You can always remind yourself of your successes and your trophies or whatever, and just like, you know, you're back in it again, because it's just a reminder of that state, that feeling. Yeah.
You want to hear something cool that I discovered today?
Yeah, go for it.
So I'm sitting outside. I'm on grass, but I'm on like one of those chairs that like holds you, like if you're like in a kangaroo sack. You know what I mean? You get what I'm saying? A kangaroo sack.
Is it a hammock or
No,
no?
no. It's like it'll cups you. It's like a sea chair.
Oh, yeah.
And it'll cup your whole body. Yeah.
Kangaroo sack.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because you'd be like down the kangaroo sack, right?
Oh, I see. Okay.
But now it's your back. So anyway, it's a red chair. The sky is really nice. It's really bright, really, really bright. Kind of warm, right? But like you feels good, kind of warm. And there's a nice breeze today as well too. There's a very nice breeze. Just feel it. Feel that image. And I'm sitting and I'm thinking to myself, yo, what were we talking about though? What was it? Because I was gonna say something based on something, maybe something Sumed. Maybe what was the last thing you said, Sumed?
What were we talking about? I was. Yeah, go ahead.
We were talking about like what keeps us like.
Oh yeah, imposter syndrome. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm talking to the crystal. So I'm legit talking to this crystal, right?
Yeah.
And it's telling me that I haven't received because I haven't been ready, but they're ready to send me the energy and shift me into 10 years into the future, because that's been my goal. I set this very strong intention maybe like a few weeks ago, and I was like, I'm gonna quantum leap myself 10 years into the future. And I mean, I was like, all right, fuck it, like full on ready, do it, mature to become that person. So like, guys, like, I mean, oh yeah, and then a little voice comes into my head. It's about imposter syndrome, right? A little voice goes into my head, and he's like, 10 years from now, you're gonna be in the same place, except you're gonna be fat. And you're gonna be a loser. And then I started laughing my ass off, like I'm like okay, like, but it's like that voice that's coming in and saying things that are not good for you, laugh at it. Laugh
Bro,
at
yeah.
it. It's just
We have like 60
buffoonery.
million like
Buffoonery.
thoughts.
Get your fucking
Yeah,
mumbo
we have
jumbo
like
out of
we
here.
have like 60,000 thoughts a day, right? And so a lot of those have got to be like useless thoughts, you know what I mean? That aren't.
Yeah.
That's why I always say like you are not your thoughts, you know, like because you got to create the thoughts that you actually want there, rather than what we're actually living is our past, right? And we automatically accept our past as the truth. Right? We're just like, oh, it happened in the past, that means it's true.
Exactly.
Yo, how would you guys
And it
define
doesn't
consciousness?
always-
Like, I want to hear each of you guys' definition on what is consciousness. Is
That
what
was
you
an
gonna
awesome
ask?
segue. That was an awesome segue. You're like, how do you guys define consciousness?
I was waiting for the moment. All right. Who goes first? You guys can decide.
Should we flip a coin or?
No, just whenever you got it. Whenever
you want
got,
to go?
like,
I don't
you
care.
feel like you got the. Whenever you feel like you got the definition.
I mean, for me, I think consciousness is I think it has a lot of, perhaps maybe like a lot of not fast. It's like sides to it. I think it has a lot of sides to it. I think consciousness is ultimately energy, and yeah, I think consciousness is energy. And I think when it's aware, also when the consciousness is aware of itself. That's not true. That's not true, because not all animals are aware of themselves, but they still have a consciousness. So difficult. It's a difficult question, honestly.
All right, go ahead, soon. Go ahead, soon.
Man, that's just such a deep thought. Man, I actually took in college. I took this course called Science of Consciousness, and it was the most difficult thing to comprehend, bro.
I
Honestly,
took similar one too. It was so hard. Yeah.
it was so difficult to understand. Like, what even is consciousness?
Yeah.
Like, and so, like, the way I understand it, right? It's like we take our five senses, and then we still have like consciousness waiting to be explored. Like some people believe in like the sixth sense or the intuition or extrasensory perception, for instance. So I feel like consciousness is a process. I feel like we still haven't explored it to the limits where we have. But from what we can see, it's just kind of it's a framework. It's like a system of understanding, and it's also a level of perception, like different levels of perception. Yeah, that's how I see it.
Yeah.
What about you, Ivan?
I like y'all's definitions. I like
his more. He actually explained it a lot better.
Okay.
I agree with you. I like that.
You want to hear mine?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, you can't. I'm not gonna tell you. Unless you guys like and subscribe to this video. Okay. For me, my definition of consciousness. A lot of times people think consciousness is, or they say that consciousness is what you think, your thoughts. Because, well, yes, it is true that your thoughts lead to your actions and your words and your actions, right? But we can actually look further than our thoughts and see that our thoughts are a creation of consciousness, right? So
yeah, it's like nurtured.
So the thought is not thoughts don't create consciousness. Consciousness creates thoughts.
If you would like to connect to your higher self, contact Ivan at odd.resilience. That's ODD.resilience.
Right. So in my definition, consciousness is what is created, right? Because let's just say I can use 165 energy of like dominance, aggression, and anger, right? That's in the low levels of vibration, 165. And someone might be like, oh, that's negative. That's a negative thing that you're doing because it's in the low levels of vibration, right? Well, what they're not seeing.
Wait, can we just like clarify to the audience because they're
I'm
probably
getting
like,
to it. I'm gonna get to it. Everyone's
okay.
gonna get it. Everyone's gonna get it.
Okay.
And then from the person being like a very like an angry person or very like dominant but like very like focused and organized or whatever, like a very militant style, the people with apathy, the people with depression, the people with helplessness, the people with despair, you pull them out of that, right? Because then they go into anger themselves, right? They're like, fuck, I got to get this shit together, right? I can't let it, right? And right when they act out of anger, then as they're moving into that action, then they're going into courage. And now they're surpassing the low levels of energy and they're going into the mid levels of energy, right? And then from courage, they can go higher and then go to creativity. Once they start moving further into it and getting into an ease and even going higher, they with their creativity, they find a love, goes higher and higher. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, well, I mean, I was just going to clarify to the audience that when you meant levels of consciousness or level of energy, you were referring to a scale by like Dr. David R. Hawkins or Frederick Dodson, right?
It's right here. It's right here.
Levels of energy, right? Okay, cool. Yeah. So, what you mentioned was interesting because you said that consciousness is what creates. Is that what you said?
In a way, yes. In a way, yes. I said the reverse of that with the reverse of the words that you used, right? But still the same definition. So what I'm saying, I said consciousness is what's created.
Okay.
So of course you got then by the definition of that, as above, so below kind of thing. You just kind of pulled there.
Consciousness is what is created. Yeah, that's very true, actually. It's very true. We're all adding to the consciousness.
What is one thing you guys think that if they knew this one thing about connecting to a higher power, right? Could be a simple prayer, could be a simple body posture. Like, what is the one thing that you guys do that you guys are like, this always helps me connect to a higher power, connect to ease?
Yeah.
What's yours, Opvious?
Yeah,
for me,
go ahead.
It's basically it's really simple, but for me, I feel like it works every time. It's just taking some deep breaths and being present and focusing on just awareness only on the breathing and
Presence. Yeah.
every time I do that, it definitely helps me connect with source energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's one of the best things for me. It's very simple to do, but it works.
Must also really calm your nervous system as well, right?
It does.
For sure.
Yeah.
For me, it's kind of, I don't know. I would say gratitude, but I don't know if it's even that. It's like more of an appreciation of being here, the appreciation of being here and now. Like that moment where you're just like, yeah, everything's just, meant to be. And it just feels like, you're in tune with what's happening. You're not disconnected from what's happening. So yeah, kind of similar to what Opvious said, to be honest with you. Yeah, it's like a gratitude. It's like a feeling of like, it's that brings you out of a shame spiral or a bad spiral anytime when you just focus on what you already have and you're grateful for it.
Yeah, it's a high vibrational frequency, high vibrational emotion. So I agree with you actually a lot with that too. Yeah, gratitude is definitely one of the best emotions that you can feel, and to help anyone, to help elevate your life.
Yeah.
How would you guys define getting into and being present?
Getting into and being present, how would I define that?
Yeah.
Being present. I define getting into and being present.
I think it's it's not about getting into, right? Because if you're saying getting into being present, then you're not present. It's like it's still something to attain.
Yeah, that's why I asked 2 questions.
Bro, that's funny.
I said getting into and being present.
Ah, okay. So you meant getting into ... and being present.
Question mark, yeah, and being present, question mark. I asked it longer. I mean, it's okay. You were just you were just so in the present moment that you were outside of like words. You know,
Yeah,
like,
sometimes that happens, bro. Like you bring up like symbols or like an image pops into your head or like you get a sensation. Like the higher self doesn't even speak in English, I feel like. It speaks in like Atlantean or something. It speaks different language. It's you know, a starseed light language or something, bro. I don't know what it is, but it's not English for sure.
light codes. It's like
light codes, bro. It's like the women that always go like this, you know, in the supermarket. Then you know they're on something, but they're on a different vibe. You know what I mean? They're just like, you know, they're communicating something else.
What's the trippiest experience? I know Smed has weird experiences. I don't like going out with him. This is why I left India, because there's too much crazy stuff going on.
Yeah, bro. I once saw this woman in the supermarket doing that, and she was like, you know, there's an archangel following you, right? Like she came up to me, you know, there's an archangel following you, right? And I was like, say what? Or maybe this was her sales tactic. I don't know. It could be, right? She was like, you know, come to my oracle reading. I'll even take $1 or whatever. I didn't go, man. I was too terrified. It seemed like a homeless woman, you know, like very, like she was wearing some weird occult stuff. So I was just like, I don't know. Thank you for the acknowledgement of the archangel, but I'm good.
The vibe was off, though. The vibe was off, right?
Yeah. Yeah, the vibe was kind of off.
Damn, they probably would have like taken your kidney or some shit, sold it on the black market.
Yeah, you know, I'm protected by the archangel for that reason. So, you know, I trusted my archangel.
Yeah.
Well, how do I define being present, man? I think being in the here and now, like just forgetting that time even exists, just acknowledging space, just you know, breathing in that good asprana, baby.
Nice. That's so good. Yeah, acknowledge your surrounding. What are you looking at? What's around you? What are you sitting on? What are you standing on? Oh, that should go on.
All the sensation.
Yeah, mindfulness, bro. Yeah.
Not in the future, not in the past.
Yeah, because we're always like memories, desires, you know, past, future. But if you can come back to the now, then it's just like infinite, you know, infinity almost.
Yeah.
And we've got to be like time bandits. We've got to steal time back, I feel like our new watches should just say now on them.
If you would like to contact Sumed for peak performance coaching, go to @FlowZone Academy on Instagram. That's FLOZONE Academy.
Yo, Opvious, you know a lot about physics, right? Quantum physics.
A bit. I wouldn't say a lot. Like, I know some of the general.
More than average.
I don't know.
He dabbles.
Because I saw some of your videos and you were speaking about it. You've heard of the experiment, right? Where they shot an atom, I believe.
Yeah.
And it made a particle and a wave.
Higgs boson. Oh, double slit experiment, right? Okay.
Double slit, yeah.
Right.
Oh, we were talking about this on my podcast actually.
Yeah, we were.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Check this out. I don't know if you guys.
Yeah.
I recently discovered this as well. So, when you put the camera on it, it only does one, right?
Yeah.
Which one did it do?
It depends on the observer. It changes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It changes depending on the observer.
Lit. That's perfect, right? So, what's important for the creation of reality, when you actually vibrate at a very high frequency, right? I can close my eyes, and if you guys don't observe me either, I can close my eyes and I can flip into a reality where my hair is blue, right? Quite instantly, actually, right? Because it's all about who's observing what's being looked at, right? So when it's doing both of them simultaneously at the same time, but you can only perceive one, right? So basically the reality that you want is occurring at this moment.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You just have to close your eyes first. Stop looking at it for a minute, right? This is what we do meditation. Stop looking at the world around you, right? You create the world while your eyes are closed. Boom. You're open, expect it to be there.
Yeah. For that little time delay we got in 3D, third dimension.
Right.
It'd be like that.
Yeah,
sometimes.
we got that delay for sure. And I feel like if you kept doing the, if you kept closing your eyes and you kept imagining blue hair, it would become a thought form, and eventually you'd be like convinced, like, maybe I'm gonna dye my hair blue.
That is true. It is true. That is a truth, I should say, right? Because you guys know Aaron Dottie, right?
Yeah.
He always talks about the book from Yogananda. What is it called? The autobiography of a yogi.
Yeah.
And the guy talks about his travels and how he would meet, different monks and different enlightened masters and gurus around the world. And he said there was like this super fat guy, like 500 pounds overweight, but he never ate. Literally, he never, that's not like an exaggeration. That's literally, this guy would never eat, right? He would see people levitate things. He would see people bend reality. He would see people teleport, right? These are the things that are so so real when you're actually vibrating closer to light.
Right.
You can bend the dimensions around you. The laws of physics no longer apply to you.
Just like the Matrix, too.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. It's like the Matrix.
Yeah.
Man, how to bend reality. We were talking about this too, I remember, Opvious. We were talking about how, our heart is like the remote control.
Right, yeah.
And then if we connect our heart with our minds, then we can choose to create a desire, right? Because it's like we're desiring from within. It's like the gut and the heart coming together. And then with the mind, we're actually, logically putting the pieces together. And we need all of the alignment to make it work.
All the chakras.
All the chakras lined up.
Yeah, exactly. So the energy flows real well.
Bro, we should make a song about chakras, I feel like. That'd be so lit.
That would be awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love that, bro.
You gotta read this book first. And then
I love
Western
that
body,
book.
Western mind.
Yeah, and then
good.
you know about chakras. Actually, there's actually a lot of really good books on chakras. Never mind.
Bro, did you do a cupping method on your third eye?
Yeah, dude, that's what happened.
I was wondering, is that like a hickey from an alien or what?
Yeah, so I'll tell you. My sister has these cupping mechanisms. It has a cup, and if you put a hose, you squeeze the water out. Who's there?
Oh no, Happy is unhappy. This dog's called Happy.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
I don't know. Anyway.
Like that Pharrell song.
Anyway, we're blessed. We're blessed. So one night where we're chilling, we're having fun, and I put it on my forehead just for fun, right? Because I thought it would be funny, right? And it's also right above my third eye nerve, right?
Yeah.
So I did it for a little bit, right? Then I took it off. Then I told my sister, hey, I'm gonna give you a third eye massage. And I put my hands on her forehead, and I started, and literally it's like a movie of a very bright blue light started playing. right? It was crazy because it was like I was actually looking at it. It wasn't something that came into my imagination. It was quite literally like here in my face, like if I was looking at a movie, right? And it was just playing like a really bright, it was like light blue light, and it was that was so wild to me in that moment. Like, yo, like this is what people say when they see chakras. It was wild. It was beautiful, honestly.
So it was hers, right?
Huh?
Okay.
Were you like seeing her dreams or something? Like what did you see?
No, I just saw a beautiful bright color.
Mm-hmm.
And then I tried to do it again. I was like, well, let me do it longer and like relieve any tension that I might have in my nerve. And I guess I left it like I mean I left it way longer than before, and this happened. So I just gotta appreciate it because I think it looks.
Yeah.
I mean,
also then you have people.
You know what I mean? It's like you could rock and be like, "What's up, baby?"
Yeah. You could like also make it like a thing, like where because people would ask you about it, and then you could be like, yeah, this is what I do. This is what I'm introducing to the world.
Yo, this is the
awesome.
new form of.
This is the new flex for the fifth dimensional. The fifth
I was gonna
dimensional.
say peacocking. I'm gonna say peacocking.
How long ago did you do it?
Like 2 days ago.
It's still there?
Dude, I think it's gonna be here for like at least 3 more days.
Wow. Well,
a century.
Let us know if you get any other experiences.
Yeah, true.
Any other experiences of what kind?
Like, like
there's like videos of certain people, they just like immediately, like they're so high vibrational that they touch somebody's third eye and then they just completely like have an out of body experience. Like there's a lot of different like light workers and energy workers who have that effect on people. And I find that really wild. Like it'd be actually really insane to learn something like that. Like,
yeah, I
feel like it could really change somebody like in an instant.
There's actually, interesting you say that. There's like there was like a cult. I think it's maybe on Netflix, this cult, and this guy basically.
Is it about Osho?
No, not Osho. There's this other guy. I can't. He would call himself like Michelle, but he was like a dude and like whatever. And
his name was. He called himself Michelle.
Yeah, because okay.
Yeah.
Michelle, and then like what he would do, he would like touch people like on the third eye or something like that, and then he would make them have a full out psychedelic experience, just like full out psychedelic experience.
Wow.
Yeah, but like he kind of like he abused his power like a lot, so it's like
yeah,
in like hypnosis, because like hypnotists have a lot of power, so it's like
for sure.
Like if he was actually doing something like.
Man, that's trippy though. Like you would be like a walking like psilocybin. You know what I mean? You'd be like a walking DMT. Like you would be able to access like these realms by just applying touch or some kind of like contact with someone. Like that's really. That's kind of.
I'm not sure if he did anything else like before that, but. I don't know. I think I'm not sure. I can't remember if the documentary was.
It's like he applies like acid in the corner, like in his fingers.
It was like immediate though, It was like immediate though. So.
Well, I have to look this up. What is this called?
I can't. I saw like 5 years ago. I can't.
Because if I search Michelle tripping, like I'll probably get Michelle Obama like yelling at someone.
Yeah, so Michelle like cults. Netflix or something like that.
Yeah, Michelle Cult Netflix. Got it. Got it. Okay. Sweet.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you, man, what do you think of like freestyle rap and like the benefits of that? Do you freestyle personally or do you normally write?
Yeah, I do a good mix. Like just right now, like I mean, I had just a hook just pop into my head, just kind of went off that, and then like I had the hook there, and then all of a sudden like I like to just go with it when I'm like spitting in the mic, and then like I'll get the melodies, and then like the words kind of just start just coming. So it's,
Do you go off the beat? Because that's my process. I sort of write a bit off the beat, but do you feel like you just kind of allow it to happen? Like, what's your process for creating music?
A lot of the hooks, many times the hooks will start without any beat. It's like I can hear the whole beat already in my head, and then I have to recreate everything.
Yeah.
So that's how
I remember this one time I was in New York and I was just walking down the street and the hook just downloaded into my head.
Yeah, right.
And I was like, where did this come from?
Right,
I was yeah, it's unbelievable when that happens sometimes. It sort of feels like you're like borrowing borrowing source. Like it's like
it's like your subconscious was working like in the background like the whole time, right? And coming up with it, and out of nowhere it hit it, and it was like, hey, gotta tell the conscious mind.
I actually I think freestyling is really amazing though, because I've had like I'm pretty decent at freestyle, but like I haven't been practicing recently. But like in the very beginning, I would freestyle like all the time, practicing nonstop. And then like I would have these moments, and it was weird because like it'd be sometimes like in front of people, and like I would just start freestyling, and like I had these moments where like I literally like see all the images coming into like literally like I see everything that I'm about to rap about like ahead of time. And then it would flow, and I would barely be even trying. And it was
it's like rap synesthesia almost, it sounds like you're experiencing.
I was just tapped into the flow state, literally tapped into the flow state, and everything's just so natural. I'm not
May the flow be with you.
Yeah, and I wouldn't even be trying, and it's like I saw it so vividly, and it's like, and that's how the freestyles would like come together, and and that's why I think like freestyling is really great exercise, because maybe it can help other people tap into that their flow states.
For sure, man. And this is why I like, hip hop is so interesting, because it uses the mechanism of this kind of remixing or sampling, like that kind of culture where you take bits and pieces from different things. And I'm really inspired by that, man. Like a lot of my coaching program comes from just taking bits and pieces of different things and making it my own, very Bruce Lee-esque, kind of this ability to sample things. and I love that, because that's what psychology is as well. It's like we have these different personalities and parts, and psychology is integration or like individuation, like things coming together to form the whole. And that's why I feel like my profession as a positive psychologist as well as a rapper, like they just go hand in hand in some parts. Like,
Right. Yeah.
Do you ever experience like when you're sorry, it's like kind of cutting off because might be a delay on my end, but I was just saying that, do you ever experience like the same kind of thing when you're producing a beat? Because I know you do both.
Yeah. So like, you mean like taking kind of like influence, basically? Like, yeah, totally. Yeah. I might get like a vibe from like a certain artist that I'm kind of trying to go for, and then like I'll try to like go for that vibe, or maybe like some of the melodies that are similar to a certain artist, and then like I'll try to just start putting it together, and then it'll just come out like unique. And it's like, but really, like, what is truly original? Everything is a massive collection of different ideas and from everyone else. But in my producing, I'll go for a similar vibe for someone, and then like the pieces just come together.
Yeah, like say for instance you're listening to maybe like a Lupe Fiasco song, and you hear a tiny little like drum kick that you're like inspired by. You might want to recreate that with like, let's say not a drum, but maybe a horn or something like that.
Yeah, true.
Is that kind of the process?
Yeah, basically, it's like that. Pretty much just like getting getting all these different influences, like maybe like for a hook or something, like I'll actually hear like another artist singing it before I do. So like I might hear another artist, because like I mean we're creations of all this influence. So like
Yeah.
no one's like 100% original, you know. So
Yeah, totally. I believe that.
yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever read the book Steal Like an Artist by Austin Kleon?
Nah, I never read that.
Yeah, it's talks about the similar concept of like nothing is really original. So
Mhm.
they don't mean steal as in plagiarism. They just mean
Right.
steal as in like, being influenced by. And I think we're always influenced by others who came before us. And so we're standing on the shoulders of giants when we do
Mhm.
sort of, make this incredible uh, ecstasy. I feel like it's ecstatic, like this feeling of like putting people into bliss experiences through music,
Mhm.
right? It's like we're the sages of the modern world as musicians, because we're taking stuff from the psyche or the spirit world, and we're just like, bringing it out through drumming, chanting, and
Yeah.
you know it's just a very tribal thing, I feel like, and we're just kind of
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
um,
Hmm. Yeah, I once made this podcast episode, but it was just for SoundCloud, because I was literally driving in my car and just talking into my phone. But that was like the main gist of what I was talking about. Like, if someone's having like some trouble trying to create something, and they got this vision in their head for something, and they're not sure how to go about it, and they still want to stay unique and original, my advice would be like, look at what everyone else is doing. Like, what are the top people doing? What are they doing? Take inspiration and replicate what you can do for yourself, and always try to add a twist, your own personal twist. So yeah.
yeah, bro, that's something actually I really admire about your music, because it's not old school, right? It's definitely new wave, right?
Yeah.
And it's catchy, and it gets the new listeners who have an ear for that kind of music to tune in and listen. And I have a similar kind of vibe that I'm going with the
Yeah,
trap,
you do.
And so I feel like we kind of understand what hits in the mainstream, but we're
Yeah.
also interpreting it and making it our own, if that makes sense.
Uh-huh.
Like we're sort of adding
Absolutely.
our own flavor to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Our own conscious spiritual flavor tone.
Yeah, yeah, totally.
What's your
Right.
favorite song? Your favorite song that you've ever made? Opvious.
That I've ever made?
Yeah.
Oh man. I don't even have I don't even have favorite, because I love all my songs in different ways. But I might say I might say it might be Dreams Come True, honestly. The song that I just came out with might be my favorite song. Just because it has, I dreams come true. Like I just want to inspire so many people to just follow through with their vision, because a lot of people will be depressed, sad, and anxious. And it's like, are they waking up? My question is like, are they waking up every moment focused on their vision, focused on like what excites them the most? And that's like,
Mm,
I just want to hammer that into people, like
mm,
always focus on, your dream life, your dream scenario. Always
yeah.
have that vision playing in your head. So I think it's one of my most impactful songs, and yeah, that's why it's one of my favorites. But like, I love so many of my other songs for different reasons. So it's really
Mm.
cool. But I'll have to say that for now.
Could you sing a little tiny bit of the hook for people?
Yeah, sure. My mind take me places far where I want to be. It's no option. We win and we got it all. So I'm saying like we got it all, because I'm like
Mhm.
saying like you have to feel as if you already have it. Your vision, you have to,
Yeah.
you already have it. So you're transcending the third dimension. You're going straight into the fifth dimension and pulling it towards you. And the more you do that every single day, this
Mm.
energy, this momentum builds, and it becomes more and more real. And literally, that's when the most magical things will start to happen in your life, like synchronicities happening, and things just start.
Yeah, man. I love that, man. It's like
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, it's already happened, but time just hasn't caught up yet. Like, it's already mine, bro. Yeah, I love that.
Exactly. And yeah, it's just like inspiring that whole, we got it all, saying also like we got it all, like as in like we have what we want already, and we're already whole. We already appreciate ourselves for where we are, because we're already whole. We just have to realize it. Especially through meditation, one of the best ways to realize it.
Yeah, for sure.
Meditation. Have you ever had a meditation where you're like you freak out because how different the experience suddenly feels?
Yeah.
Zoom's face.
Yeah.
He said, "You made."
I had a crazy meditation like a day ago because I was adding like shamanic drumming in the background. Like it was like a whole trip. Like I added like strobe lights to it. I added. It was actually wild, man.
Yeah. What did you feel like?
I just felt like super connected with all the parts of my brain, if that makes sense. Like my reptilian part, my higher cognitive part, just like all of it. It just felt like buzzing, you know, throughout my whole body. That's what it felt like. Like it was just meant to be, yeah.
And that scared you?
It did. I was like, whoa, like what am I, you know, really capable of if I unlock more of this? Like,
yeah.
It
so
can be very scary.
Not a bad way.
Yeah, totally. It's like an excitement fear, you know? It's like it's like looking forward. It's like the adventure that awaits, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. But I'm sure I was clearing a bunch of stuff too during that process because I felt like I was, you know, I laughed a bit, you know, I let out a few, you know, yawns. I noticed like signs of release. So
good, yeah. Yeah, I haven't had any like where I freaked out, but I mean I've had different feelings. Like I mean freak out, like I've had feelings like where like tears start coming down my eyes because I just feel this immense like gratitude for myself and just compassion for all life. And like I mean that's freaking out, but that was like experiences like that are definitely, you know, like you know. Not like you start coming out the eyes, you know, that's
I see you. Yeah, I actually have had some experience, but like I say, it always it's me like the way I reacted to the experience. And just sometimes I guess sometimes you didn't expect it, right? That's the thing. Like the spiritual powers, they come at you like when you didn't expect it. You're like, oh dang, you know what I mean?
Comes
like,
out of nowhere, yeah.
I remember the first time that I was controlling the electromagnetic field around me. I was like, yo, that's wild as fuck. And I remember the time that I felt like the Kundalini snake slide up into the top of from my spine to the top of my head into my head. That one was like, whoa, what did I just experience? All right. And then another sound one, when I was just sitting down outside, it was like dark. And out of nowhere, I could hear how everything was alive around me. I could hear the wood being alive. It was on a fence, and I was like, I could hear the sound of the wood being alive. I could hear the earth, the ground moving and making sound. It was like, what the, like in that moment, I was like, damn, 'cause it literally just, it was just like, ding, 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 like regular sounds, you know what I mean? And out of nowhere, it just spiked like Bitcoin, you know what I mean? It just, that whole just spiked
like Bitcoin.
And I was like, oh damn.
Yeah. Something that I read the other day was like the word meditation, I believe, means to become familiar with. Which I thought was so interesting because all we're doing is we're becoming much more familiar with ourselves. right? As we're going inwards, we're going into our inner world, and our inner world consists of things that we don't know yet. We're still discovering it as we grow older, right?
Yeah.
And so meditation becomes like you looking with a flashlight into some of the dark places and things like that. And you know, you might find something you don't like, you might find great things in there too, but it's like, as long as we're looking, right?
True. Yeah.
As long as we're looking.
Yeah, we're figuring out ourselves and getting more familiar with the whole entire divine, you know, the whole universe, getting connected.
Yeah,
with all
man.
of it.
Because I believe we can't love somebody that we don't know, right? Like if we know somebody really well, then we can love them as well. So it's like, once we know ourselves really well, we can also learn to love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like you're saying, like, love yourself. Once you're becoming more familiar with yourself through meditation, figuring yourself out more, loving yourself, you're saying you're going to start loving other people more, like that?
Yeah, yeah, in a sense, but also like, you know, what you're doing is essentially you're creating space, right? I think meditation helps you to create space, and I think that, you know, as you are, you know, if you don't know some, like, try, you know, I don't really believe in, like, I don't know, love at first sight. I feel like we have to first like embrace a moment of like getting to know somebody to be able to truly love them before, because our judgments can come in at times, you know, and be like, I don't know if this is, you know, so it takes a process for human beings to just be able to get to know somebody and truly be with them, you know. And it's the same with our own internal selves, like our own worlds. We like, it's a process and a journey of loving ourselves and like knowing ourselves, and the self-knowledge just, I guess, creates a container for that self-love to float around more, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
They do say that the more personal a problem is, the more universal it is.
Yeah.
So really, the more you get to know yourself, the more you're getting to know other people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the self begins to
that's
get
why
with.
that's why I love that idea also of astral travel, as you were saying, Opvious, because, you know, you don't need to have a passport to do that, you know what I'm saying?
No.
You just need what you came in this world with.
Yeah.
You just gotta train it, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe for me, that's one of my most freaked out experiences, like going straight out of my body. Yeah, I guess that would be one of the, because I was really freaked out afterwards.
That sounds like amazing.
You talk to me about that experience, man, because I've experienced it a couple of times, but I haven't had any really wild experiences. So maybe you can guide the audience through some techniques in terms of, you know, exploring the astral realm, or how you would actually begin astral projecting.
Yeah, so through meditating for like a long period of time, so that you get familiar with the borderline sleep state, because like the borderline sleep state is literally where all the magic happens. So basically it's I would one of the like most vivid experiences that I've had, I posted a video about this on my YouTube channel. So it was this one freaked me out. This one freaked me out a lot. And, so what I did was I woke up 6 hours after I went to bed. I got up, kept my mind awake a little bit, like went to the bathroom, got a drink, stayed up for like 3 to 5 minutes, and just set the intent, you know, that I said it as an affirmation, like, I am astral projecting. I astral project often, you know, and like feeling that, like, what would that be like? Because I've had previous experiences before, but you can also visualize it if you haven't, like, what would that feel like? And so then I laid down and I just started meditating. And literally it felt like 5 minutes. It could have been longer, you know, because when you meditate for a long period of time, sometimes it feels like about an hour or 2 hours went by, but it felt pretty fast. And then all of a sudden, literally, like, I'm laying on my back, and then I literally start floating out of my body. And I couldn't see anything, but like I felt at first, I felt like, I think I felt it was my feet raised. I might be mixing up another experience, but like, but so first I actually reached out my arm. My astral arm. I was like, like mind blown. It was literally mind.
Astral arm. Damn.
Yeah, as it was happening, I literally feel my arm like moving forward out of my physical body, and then literally I just like move it around a little bit. I'm like, yeah, that's it. And then like I just literally just start floating upwards, and I couldn't see anything. So if anyone here listening to this podcast has astral projection or they have experience and they don't see anything, that's okay. That happens a lot when you're beginning, because your astral eyes are not accustomed to the astral realms. So yeah, so, yeah.
You basically gave like the oh, guys, don't worry. You know when you go into a dark room and you can't see yet, but after a while your eyes adjust. It's basically that.
Yeah, exactly.
Basically that.
Or like in the Matrix, the movie, when he actually comes out and then he's like, why my eyes hurt so much? He's like, because you've never used them. That's why.
So it's like learning to use a pair of eyes. You haven't
you're learning all over again, just like a baby.
Why do my eyes hurt? Because you never used them in your entire human existence.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I floated out of my body. I couldn't see anything, but I already had experience with this, so I knew like it's okay that I didn't see anything. I glided across, because you don't really like walk. You don't really walk when you so like I glided.
I once had I had a weird experience with astral projection once, where I thought I was actually sleepwalking in my own house. But then I noticed that I was like a hologram. And so in the moment where I was sleeping, and then I suddenly noticed myself getting up from bed, and then I turn around and I see myself sleeping in bed.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the heck is going on? And I was in my college dorm at the time, right? And I opened the door, and then I noticed I could start flying.
Yeah.
And so I was just floating around the common space, like the living room area there.
Yeah.
And I saw how like Halloween stickers, like stuff that just was there, you know. I was like, what the heck is happening? And then there was just a green pavilion. And then I just didn't know. I didn't see anything after that. It was just like me floating around the common room, trying to be Superman, and then like, you know, almost going into this pavilion suddenly in a snap.
Fuck, bro.
But the pavilion was lit. It was like a plain open field, you know, paradise.
In waking reality, was it the same? Was there actually a pavilion there or no?
My college campus was very green, but this was very trippy because it wasn't normal. Like there was a hue in the background that was like purple or something like that.
Yeah, I've had that too. Yeah, purple and green hue. I've seen that too, actually.
Damn. What is it about that? Are we going into some actual other world, or like, I've always thought that I'm going into like, you know, maybe another planet almost. Like I'm seeing another planet at a different time or a different dimension. How do you interpret like what you're seeing really? Like,
yeah, it's kind of difficult to interpret because there's like infinite realities, you know? So I feel like we can really tapping into any of them. So it's really difficult. It's really difficult to pinpoint where you are on the map.
I know what you mean, but then there's also people having, you know, like DMT experiences where they've noticed like contact with aliens and like clockwork elves and all this kind of stuff. And it just makes me wonder, like, where do human beings go? You know, what is this fantastical realm? I guess I gotta read more Frederick Dodson, man. He loves talking about. He has a book on Pleiades that I really want to read. Like,
really?
What's Pleiades?
Pleiades is like a star system, so he has contact with these alien beings from Pleiades, and he wrote a book about it. It's called Pleiades and Our Secret Destiny or something like that.
Wow, that's cool. I'm gonna read that.
I'm gonna read that one, man. It sounds super lit.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I recently, you know, I came into contact with contact with someone who channels and communicates with like Vega star system, and she told me that I was a Vega star seed as well, because she sent out a astral, message, not an astral message, but I guess she sent out a spirit message where she was saying, I want to communicate with all these star beings. And then I showed up the next day. Like, I just searched the hashtag, I found her through that hashtag. It just, like, source just guided me to lead me to this girl, like, and this woman, right? And I was like, wow, like, how did that even happen? Like, like, some of these moments you start to question them, and you think, is this really like my mind playing tricks on me, or coincidence, or is this a part of my higher path? You know what I mean? Like,
happens all the time. It's literally everything. It's just because everything's so interconnected, and I think it's great to notice, even when you think like, oh, is it a coincidence? I feel like that's always important to question. Always question.
Yeah, totally, man.
Because the past, present, and future are all happening at the same time.
Yeah, man. I was watching this thing on Netflix. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. It's like called Connected. It's this guy who does like documentaries. But anyway, one of the documentaries, he mentioned something called, I believe it's Benson's Law. And it's basically the fact that we can see certain numbers more. And this pattern is in everything from our taxes to nature to everything, like sports players. And how the math adds up there.
What do you mean?
So, like,
break that down?
It's difficult to explain, man. I would
have you
saying,
like, numerology wise, like, yo, the 4 pops up in your life very often, or is that
no? So it's called Benson's curve. So think about it. The number 1 is 30% more likely to show up in a situation, and then the number 2, that it starts with that number, right? So the number 1 that it starts with, so let's say a check, or it could be any number, for instance. It's more likely to start with 1, and then it's more likely to start with 2, and then it's more likely to start with 3. So it goes like 30%, 17%, and it's like a curve. And it sounds wild to me to say this, but there's actual research, and it even shows up in things like social media accounts, and they can spot fake social media accounts by using this algorithm. It's wild, man.
I want to watch that. I was thinking about watching that. I'm definitely gonna check it out now.
I only watched the one called Digits. Yeah, check that one out. It's really wild, man. Yeah.
Okay.
That episode on numbers, it's freaky.
Well,
gentlemen, it even comes down to music and stuff like that. Oh yeah, I guess we're wrapping up.
As we always do. We wrap up.
Yeah, this was an awesome talk. I feel like I could talk
this is
forever.
great. Yeah.
It's a good time. I enjoyed my time too.
Yeah, thanks for having me, yo. Appreciate it so much. Thank you.
Yo, if they want to hear your music, where can they hear it?
All streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple, SoundCloud, YouTube, all of them. Opvious. That's how you spell my name. So that's how you find
everything. Just look up, just Google search him. I think you can they find you on Google?
Yep.
All right, there you go.
Obvious.
Google his name. It's like saying Obvious.
But and what do you call your fans, by the way?
The Optimist Tribe.
I love that. The Optimist Tribe.
Yeah, bro.
That's lit, man. Thank you so much for being here, brother. We appreciate you.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Have a wonderful day.
You
July,
too. You guys
November.
are awesome.
Happy Halloween. Happy Hanukkah.
Happy Halloween.
Peace out.
Make sure you follow the Better Man Podcast on Instagram. See you next time.